What's going on, Illicit fam? It's Omniarch, and today I'm bringing you a brand new video where we're going to be talking about Call of Duty World War II and if I think it's good enough to revive the Call of Duty community. Now, as of making this video, we have seen both the first and second weekend of beta, and we've also seen the beta for the PC. So we've seen a lot of Call of Duty World War II in two different stages, I guess really three different stages, and you know, we've seen tons of people talk about it on YouTube and on Twitter and pretty much everywhere all over the internet, giving their feedback and the reviews and stuff like that. Pretty much everybody that I've seen talk about Call of Duty World War II has said that they really enjoy the game. They said that the game is fun to play, it's nice to not have jetpacks, things along those lines, and I think this is kind of what everybody was hoping to feel going into the game. The problem that I've heard a couple of people mention, and myself included, is that the gun balance just wasn't there. The PPSH was definitely like just a really powerful gun throughout the beta, at least when I played the first and second weekend, so gun balance is obviously something that they're going to have to get down, especially because there's like certain specific instances in maps where I think that the M1 Garand should shine really well, and then you end up getting one kill before you die. So it's just really interesting to see how they almost got it to where semi-automatics can actually be good, but at the end of the day it just didn't work. But again, people were saying that, you know, yeah, gun balance could do some work, but that's what the beta's for. Obviously, you know, they get some real raw data about, you know, where people are dying most on maps and with what guns, and what guns are most popular, which guns are least popular, things like that, and they can kind of, you know, figure out, okay, this gun is used in too many situations, it gets too many kills, blah blah blah, and they can kind of tweak that, right? Some people said that the map design was a little bit iffy. One of the three maps, I believe, people just really hated. So there's a few minor things, but overall people seem to enjoy the game and really enjoy the fact that we have switched away from the futuristic setting back to a more familiar roots of Call of Duty. One thing that I actually think, I think it was either T Martin or Drifter, I don't remember which one it was, but they were talking about how footsteps couldn't be heard in the game, and they were talking about, like, you know, no one's running dead silence because that perk or that that ability was actually locked behind a level cap that you couldn't progress past because it was a beta, and yet still you couldn't hear anybody's footsteps no matter what, even if you're using a headset or anything like that. It was just drowned out by the sounds of the game and the sounds of the in battle chatter, you know, where your character or the other team is like yelling out random callouts, stuff like that, and they were like, yeah, we can't hear footsteps, and like that needs to be changed. And my response to that is, I don't think footsteps have been in the game since the beginning of Black Ops 3. I remember before they did some nerfs to, I think it was awareness or something, you could hear footsteps amazingly well in Black Ops 3, and then about halfway through the lifespan they patched it, and since then I haven't found footsteps to be useful in regular play. You know, obviously in maybe a competitive search and destroy it might be useful, but in regular play I wasn't able to find them, and then I didn't play Infinite Warfare nearly enough to give a shit, but even still I couldn't really hear footsteps in that game either. So I've been complaining about footsteps for like 2 years now, and yeah, I would agree with you on that one. I think footsteps need to come back because that's one thing that kind of separates good players from bad players. Yes, I mean, you do need to actually go and buy a decent headset. I mean, that's not entirely true. I mean, with older Call of Duties, you could use shitty ones and it would still, at least you get an idea of where they are, but surround sound headphones obviously work better. So yeah, you could say it's kind of pay to win, but if you are good enough at Call of Duty to realize that footsteps are a thing, then you're willing to at least try to work with it and try and put the audio in your ears instead of coming out of your TV. It's still a skill that I think not a lot of people are willing to learn, and it definitely separates good players from bad players, and it makes the difference. So that's something that I want that to be in the game as well. All of this aside though, again, like I said, basically the consensus that I have gotten from Call of Duty World War II is that the fans are really pleased with the game. Just from hearing other people's comments just out and about, you know, hearing people's opinions about the new Call of Duty, I've heard people say like, yeah, this is the first, I'm gonna actually buy this Call of Duty. It's the first Call of Duty I'm buying in a couple of years, which is nice to hear because it means people are actually interested in the franchise again. They're willing to give it another try, and like they actually picked a setting that people give a shit about. No one cares about, you know, the 5th time you faked a story war or whatever. Like, World War II actually happened and people actually care about it, and it's cool to see, you know, or hear at least, a couple of people, acquaintances of mine and people in my friend group and stuff, actually care about Call of Duty this year, whereas the past 2 or 3 years they just haven't given a shit. So it's cool. It's really cool, like I said, to hear people want to play Call of Duty again. Like, I feel like it's been a while since people have said that. Sorry about my phone going off, by the way. It's almost always on silent, and this time it wasn't, so my bad. Anyway, the main question that I wanted to pose with this video was if this is enough to revive Call of Duty. Now, I feel like a ton of people, and even the die-hard fans of Call of Duty, many of them left during Infinite Warfare. I mean, there's, like, besides the competitive scene, there's really no one giving a shit about Infinite Warfare, right? Like, this game really destroyed what was already a struggling community. Black Ops 3 was kind of like, you know, uplifting because people, you know, even if they didn't really like the futuristic aspect, at least the game was decent for what it was, right? And I think, again, my own opinion, obviously, I made videos about this on my own channel, but my opinion is after so many patches, the game just got really dull for me, and I didn't like the gun balance. Everything just felt just like, I don't know, the guns just felt like they were all, I can't explain it without getting a bunch of hate, but I didn't like the game probably halfway through the life cycle, but it's still, even to this day, better than Infinite Warfare, right? So with Infinite Warfare, everybody hated it, right? I don't know anyone who really likes Infinite Warfare, who's like really convinced it's good. There's maybe a handful of people who are just like, it's not as bad as people think it is, which to that I would say, are you sure? But beyond that, there's no like real people who are like, this is the best Call of Duty ever. And if you do think that, then this is probably the only Call of Duty you've ever played, because there's no way, right? There's just no way. So with Infinite Warfare being so bad, and with people, you know, a lot of people did leave after Ghosts because Ghosts was just not innovative. It was kind of dull, kind of boring, whatever. No one really cared about it. And then, you know, we had Advanced Warfare, which people thought would be cool in the beginning, but then it turned out that it was a shit game, right? Advanced Warfare was terrible. My opinion on that is that it was good kind of for search and destroy, and competitive was kind of fun to watch, but overall I just didn't like Advanced Warfare, and that's definitely the consensus that I get from a lot of other people, because the boost jumping in that game was just not done the right way. It wasn't done well. And to Sledgehammer's defense, I mean, you know, they were the first to do it for Call of Duty, so they didn't have any sort of feedback, right? So when Black Ops 3 came around, they kind of saw, oh, okay, it's too instantaneous, it's too much, we need to tone it down, and that's why Black Ops 3, I think, got it right, because they had Advanced Warfare's failure to you know, figure it out. So, you know, I will give them a slight pass for that, but, you know, I think Advanced Warfare was garbage, and we have to keep in mind that Sledgehammer made Advanced Warfare, right? So yeah, I mean, World War II is an exciting time right now because people are actually kind of caring about the franchise, but Sledgehammer had the variants and supply drops. They were the first ones to do that, to put really powerful, literally broken weapons in basically a gambling feature where you had to spend an unknown amount of money to get the weapon that you were looking for, and sometimes you would see YouTubers spending $200, $300, $400 on these things just to collect all these variants, and that's just absolutely insane. So you know supply drops are going to be back for World War II. There's just no way that they're going to release a Call of Duty game without them, because people are willing to pay for them. So you know that they'll be in there. So, you know, with Black Ops 3, they did it right, you know, where they released just melee weapons and cosmetic stuff, you know, cool stuff like that. But I think variants were in Infinite Warfare in the supply drops, and it's like, why are we going backwards? Like, we learned from Advanced Warfare how fucked up that is. You made the change, and then we're back to it, and it's like, that's really, like, that made me cringe, because I was like, oh my god, they really aren't learning, like, they really don't care. So now we're moving to Sledgehammer, and they were the ones who started this whole, you know, supply drop thing. Makes me wonder, obviously, are they going to screw it up again with variants and supply drops, right? So the point of the video is, is Call of Duty World War II going to be enough to revive the community? Because while the game does have some hype, people are kind of excited for it because it is, you know, Call of Duty returning to its roots. There's no more boost jumping, like we're kind of resetting, right? It's still made by Sledgehammer, and really the only good example we have of them making a Call of Duty is Advanced Warfare, which in my opinion is the worst Call of Duty. And does the game bring enough difference to keep us entertained for a year, right? Like we need to see how many guns there's gonna be, how good the maps are gonna be, and all this stuff that basically plays into a successful launch, an successful year for Call of Duty. We have to see if there's gonna be broken variants. We have to see if there's gonna be if they're going to support the community with ranked play, and if they're going to bring in you know, theater mode and stuff like that. You know, like we need to see how they're going to support the game, and I just don't know. I want to be optimistic. I really do. I really want to love Call of Duty again. I miss it so much, and I try to throw in Modern Warfare 2 on my Xbox 360, and there's just really no good lobbies. I mean, the connection's usually pretty bad. Sometimes there's hackers, and it's just not what it used to be, right? And the only people playing it are people who want to play it, which means they're very familiar with the game. So people who play now are pretty good, right? So you can't go pub stomping like you used to back in the day, because people who are playing it now played it back in the day, and they remember all the bullshit. They remember all the tricks and the Harrier chopper gonna nuke thing, so they shoot everything down right away. So it's just not the same experience, right? And I miss that Call of Duty, and the fact that I can't go back to old ones and have the same experience means I have to look forward to new ones, and I really want them to be good. Like I really do. Some of the kill streaks, while I thought about it, are really cool in the new game in World War II. I know some of the top kill streaks don't seem too worth it, so there's gonna have to be some tweaks there. And I believe it was the spy plane or whatever it's called is like, I think, pretty easy to shoot down. So I don't know, we're gonna have to see with the full game. And I would love, and the biggest thing to take away from this video is that I'm looking for your feedback here. I want to know down below if you guys think Call of Duty World War II has what it takes to revive Call of Duty as a franchise, if you think that it's going to be good again, you know, if we are headed on the right track now, or do you think that, you know, Call of Duty is just dead? It's just so beyond bringing it back that it's just either plateauing or declining, and even if there's good games, people are already fed up. You know, for 3 years now we had Ghost, Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 2 was okay, Infinite Warfare was abysmal, and I take that back. Actually, earlier I said Advanced Warfare was my least favorite COD. Infinite Warfare is my least favorite COD, and the reason I didn't say it before is because I literally forgot that it's a thing for a second. Like, Infinite Warfare is so much worse. But anyway, with that being said, I wanted to get your comments down below. Let me know if you think Call of Duty is either, you know, pretty much just dead forever, if and not dead as in no one plays it, but, you know, as in the golden age of Call of Duty is gone and past and never to return, or if you think that this is going to breathe some new life into the community and get people back into the game who left a few years ago, and kind of bring it back to, you know, the limelight, and that's really it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe to Illicit Gaming, turn on their notifications, and make sure you slap a like on the video to help them out. If you enjoyed the video even more than that, you can go down to my channel in the description below and you can catch some more videos from me. That's pretty much it, guys. So thank you so much for watching. This has been Omniarch, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Peace.